Hello, Western Civ 104. Welcome to week 5. I don't have too long of announcements to mention to us. I think we're doing really well. I'm looking at your exams, and sorry, I didn't actually have an announcement even discussing the exams, but so far, what I'm seeing come in is looking like what I wanted it to. So, you're basically making this a Sunday paper beefed up, and as an overall, I'm liking what I see of the work, and just keep up the good work. We are now going to be shifting into to Rome, and here now, when we look at the Western world, when we talk about Greece and we talk about Rome, we talk about the Greco-Roman legacy, and you will be getting exposed to all of this now, and you're going to have such a solid understanding of these foundations and why they're important for us to understand, looking at our own again, background. But I just want to say something that I always feel this is kind of there's a silly discussion that happens in American politics. Silly is not the right word. It's an unfortunate one, where people will say things like, "Well, we're a democracy," and then somebody will say, "No, we're a republic." And both comments are rooted in something that's wrong with a discussion about American politics, and also what's right on both ends. And here's what I mean. So when someone is trying to say that we're a democracy, and they're shouting, we need more democracy, or we use those kind of phrases, it is true that the founding fathers never believed in majority rule in the sense of what people call mob rule. And this is something that one political spectrum likes to address or talk about. On the same token, a republic is still a system of representation. It's still democratic. And in fact, as we learned in Greece, and as I mentioned in one of my lectures, and I'll just say again, Southern intellects, when we had slavery in the United States, argued that Greece, who came up with the concept, essentially to oversimplify, of democracy, and the Romans, who polished up the concept of a republic, both had slaves. And those Southern intellects were correct, which means that a republic and a democracy can have people living in 100% unfreedom. I mean, let me just even further expand this. When the United States was originally founded, only white men that had property could vote, up until Andrew Jackson. And so whether you're talking about democracy or republic, it was not a problem for our elites to perceive of those terms in that way. So when we talk about whether or not that electoral college, for example, is there to protect democracy or a republic, I mean, look, women couldn't get to vote until the 20th century. What it means to have a fair and free democratic republic in the United States, I don't think really you can look to history to really answer that, as much as ask ourselves if we think the system, the way it operates now, it operates in the way that is best for the nation. Now, I'm not here to resolve that. I'm not telling you what side I am on that, but I want you to think about this history of Western civilization. Think about how it's played out in even modern American history, up until the Revolution and the Civil War, and then now, and really ask us where history is really informing us on all this, right? So I think it's always interesting what history can help inform us to think about and do, and also it's interesting what it leaves out for us. And anyhow, again, I'm not going to resolve that with us here in the classroom. I just think it's a good thing to bring up and keep in mind while we look over this important history. If you have any questions, problems, keep in mind, text me. Like I say, I'll be working for the next 2 days at my other job, and I'll be working from home Wednesday and Thursday. But I'm here at your service when you need me. Thanks.